All right, so this new Iceman album by Drake is full of shots, full of disses. So let's get into every single diss that was on Iceman explained by me. Let's go. There's so many people dissed on this album. We just gonna start with the owner of TDE himself, Anthony Top Dog Tiffith, on the song Make Them Cry.
Random intrusive thought, but what happened to Taz's Angels?
So Drake says, what happened to Taz?
I know he was gonna diss like the TDE, the old TDE, the old Kendrick Lamar crew, because you know what happened last year. You know what I'm saying? And that's why he stayed quiet, because he wanted to drop them. He had to give an answer, you know, respond to everybody. So
Taz's Angels. Now, Taz's Angels, a former modeling agency who got caught up in some crimes.
The FBI raided their mansion in Miami. There was allegations of sex working.
But Drake admittedly makes a very off-ball reference to them, like, yo, what happened to those people? And it almost seems innocent until you dig a little deeper. One of the former Taz's Angels, her name was Ashley Martell, and she had formerly accused Anthony Top Dog Tiffith, the CEO of TDE, of abuse. So here's a photo of her battered eye. I'll kind of censor that out just to be safe for YouTube. But yeah, I don't think it's a coincidence that Drake randomly mentions Taz's Angels when one of the former models, who's still pretty Instagram famous at this point, formerly accused Top Dog of abuse. See, on this Iceman album, Kendrick Lamar caught a bunch of strays.
Like that.
On the song Dust, Drake says, what was the year they said you had slaps? Cause I don't remember it going like that.
Since 2009, I had this bitch jumping.
This appears to be Drake referencing Kendrick's bar on Not Like Us. Drake is directly questioning that. Like, 2009, I don't remember you being popping in that year, Kendrick.
Let's go.
Drake will go on to say,
Drake just don't give up, bro. He just don't want to give up, bro. He don't want to lay down, bro. Shout out to Drake, though, you know what I'm saying? And he dropped 3 albums, bro. Damn, that's a body work. That's a lot of work, bro. Shout out to Drake, whatever. I know, like it is what it is, but listen, man. I'm not, at the end of the day, bro, work, bro. His work ethic was show it right here, bro. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Drake, bro.
I don't remember one word of your raps. I don't know nothing about you on them tracks. Now, as you can imagine, Kendrick Lamar caught most of the disses on this Iceman album. On Whisper My Name, Drake's my white label had to go white label when he stepped out his body and finally got hot. So even in these disses towards Kendrick Lamar, Drake is saying, yo, you did well, like you got hot, like I'll give you your props. But here Drake takes aim at his label, UMG, his white label, white owned label, saying they went white label. Now, if we dig just a little bit deeper.
Whatever happened to the lawsuit though? Like, so what happened to the lawsuit? For real.
Into the meaning of white label. A white label is a product or service that's made by one company and then rebranded and sold by a different company under their own name. So it seems like Drake is looking at Kendrick like, hey, UMG hand selected you to replace me. And that's the only reason you got hot. White label. On the song Whisper My Name, Drake says,
This ain't fixed.
this ain't fixable smoke when you see us. I'll sit in with Farrakhan.
It's like the bag that you bring on the plane. It's gonna carry on.
So Minister Farrakhan has infamously squashed a lot of hip hop beefs. He would make certain rappers, certain entertainers, black entertainers, come and meet with him to squash whatever public issues they had together. Drake is saying, yo, not even sitting with Farrakhan is gonna help that. Like, this is something that we're gonna carry on forever between us. So maybe one of the more direct shots towards Kendrick on Iceman.
Damn, that's a grudge, bro. That's what we call a grudge, bro. Like, carry on grudge, bro. Like, you'll never get over it. Like, you know, and they not like us when you call him a pedophile, a pedo. So Drake would never forgive you, bro. Like, golly. Damn.
Was on the song Janice STFU.
White kids listen to you because they feel some guilt, and that's how your soul gets fulfilled.
So here Drake is jamming at Kendrick's fan base. What we saw at the pop-out show was a lot of non-black kids, a lot of white kids, which is kind of the reverse of how Kendrick portrays it in his music. The culture, black culture, this and that. I mean, I'm just giving you guys Drake's perspective here. And Drake is saying those white kids that are there, they're not even there because they like your music like that. They're there to help fulfill this white guilt because they get to listen to you rap about the black plight and things of that.
Video creators, I just found a software that color grades for you. So I came across Imagine AI.
bills.
And here Drake tries to point out some type of hypocrisy, saying you hand out turkeys on camera in your hood. So you're handing out turkeys in Compton for these holiday giveaways, but you're doing it on camera, so it's fake, right? You're not doing it out the kindness of your heart. You're doing it for public relations, for PR. Then you go back to the hills, which is like the rich part of LA.
How many houses you build?
Drake is attempting to point out some type of hypocrisy within Kendrick. Drake seems to believe that Kendrick portrays himself as some sort of savior who's gonna, help people and save the hood.
Oh, that was a bit though. Like whatever, if he dropped that song, if he dropped whatever first, and then Kendrick Lamar would have said something back, bro dropped 3 albums in one night, bro. Like, can you imagine? Like, he would have been crazy, like literally crazy,
So Drake is saying like, okay, where are the results of that? On Shebang, Drake says,
Don't even recognize none of these names at the top of the charts. I look.
and as of the week that Iceman came out, there are very few hip hop records in the charts. In that same verse, Drake goes on to say,
Last one you dropped was shit. I did press play on that hoe. Mid, skip.
it was mid, I skipped a lot of records. He's talking about GNX. So he's doing a critical breakdown of GNX.
Nah, bro, GNX was fire, bro. I still bump GNX right now, like in my car, bro. In the gym when I'm working out, yeah, I still GNX is fire though.
It's mid, there's a lot of skips. The album wasn't that good, he's saying. Thus is why I don't recognize any names currently on the Billboard charts.
And now they got a new gold and we gotta test the position.
So this is from the song Make Them Pay. Drake says, we got a new GOAT. We got to test the position. He's talking about Kendrick. Apparently you're the new GOAT. You replaced me, allegedly, because of the Not Like Us. This is what people say. So you replaced me. All right, so let's test it.
Who is this guy for real? I guess a magician. 100 million streams vanished. No one got questions for niggas.
So he's looking at Kendrick like, okay, so you're supposed to be the new GOAT. You're supposed to be the guy now that you took me down. But we don't see you, right? Like a magician. He vanishes. He doesn't drop music. He disappears like a musician pulling a rabbit out the hat. Oh, and plus those streams. There's this whole allegation that Kendrick and other TDE artists were botting streams and they lost millions upon millions of streams when Spotify did a bot purge. He says no one got questions for these guys. And to Drake's credit, it's hard to tell if that allegation is even true because no one asks directly about that specific allegation. Punch, the president of TDE, he did go on a Joe Budden podcast, and Joe Budden asked him, but not about the 100 million streams directly. Joe Budden asked Punch, do you bot streams? Which of course everyone would say no, because botting streams is against pretty much every streaming service's terms of service. So no one is gonna come out and admit, oh yeah, we bot streams, right? You get your music taken off services. But the specific point of 100 million streams allegedly vanishing, to Drake's credit, no one asks about this.
We gotta dip out of 6, run out of 6, just like it did.
So this bar from National Treasure is referencing Kendrick going to Toronto and performing Not Like Us.
I saw Canadian fans wearing shirts that said Canadians do not F with Drake.
Everyone came out to see if Kendrick would actually put his foot on the pedal regarding Not Like Us in Drake's hometown. And this is something that Drake is going to reference a couple times on Iceman. Yeah, he came to Toronto the 6th and he performed these records, but he bolted out of there quickly. There are videos of Kendrick having like a 20, 30 plus police escort. Once he was finished with the show, he got out of Toronto immediately with a police escort straight to the airport. Now, obviously, I think that's the smart thing to do. I think the smart thing to do would have not to go into Toronto to begin with. But yeah, if you're going to go there, don't hang around.
Why was TPS at my crib until you boy slid? It is what it is.
What? And then Drake goes on to say, why was TPS, which is like Toronto's police department, why were they at my crib, at my house, posted, watching me until y'all finished your show? So Drake is accusing Kendrick of having the police sit there and watch his house until he got out of Toronto.
So what was Drake gonna do? Like, bro, you got that much money and you trying to slide, bro? Like, I don't even believe like Drake would pay somebody to slide for him. Cause bro, you got that much money. Drake is that like yo, I don't know, bro. I think it's just word.
Is it true? I don't know. But this is what Drake is saying.
All these want a head tap, I did more damage off a body blow.
On the same song, National Treasures, Drake says, all these dudes want a head tap, but I did more off a body blow. So this appears to be referencing Euphoria,
Headshot for the year. You better walk around like Daft Punk.
where Kendrick says, headshot for the year. Y'all better walk around like Daft Punk. Drake is saying like, yeah, all y'all want the headshot, you want the head tap, but I'm doing more damage to you just off the body blow. Little boxing reference.
I'm fighting a man, I suing a rapper, you was not listening.
So this bar is from Bees on the Table. It's alluding to Drake's lawsuit with UMG, where a lot of people kind of see the lawsuit as suing Kendrick for Not Like Us. But in order to not sue Kendrick directly, he's just going to sue UMG over defamation. Drake is clearing that up. For everyone who thinks like that, I'm fighting the man. The man, like, is a term for the industry, the oligarchs. Like, yo, I'm fighting the man. It's not about Kendrick.
I'm back in your city tonight, walking around my head high.
Here, Drake is saying, hey, I'm in LA. I'm all throughout California, Southern California, with my head high. Meanwhile, when Kendrick was in Toronto, he got up out of there quickly. Again, this is something that Drake references a couple times on Iceman. The fact that, yeah, Kendrick came to Toronto, but left.
All I can say, Drake got to be careful riding on, walking around LA, because LA, bro, they crazy, bro. In LA, bro, I don't care how nice the house is. I don't care how nice the environment, the area look. It's still ghetto, bro. It's still ghetto. Next thing you know, you got Compton down across the street, you know, and you got hood every single places. Corners, you know what I'm saying? So you gotta be careful, bro. They do him dirty, bro. Every single rappers that go to LA and talking age always get dirty, bro. They always get done dirty.
Quickly with a huge police escort, and he's kind of jabbing him over that.
I'm gonna show you what to do, little. Hey, I'm gonna show you what to do, little boy.
This is from Too Hard for the Radio. So this is Drake's
TVO.
attempt at the West Coast record, but instead of going for the LA sound, like we heard on Not Like Us, Drake goes for the Bay Area
TVO
sound.
though.
I mean, and even the LA sound, it's still pretty influenced by the Bay Area. Drake has short jokes for Kendrick for days. So you'll often hear him call him little boy, little guy, this and that.
You put that jacket on anybody, your funeral bound.
And on the song Make Them Remember, this is where a huge percentage of the disses from Iceman are on. This on this one song. Drake is talking about having this pedo jacket put on him.
A booster seat for your sales, analyze that you tell.
He's still making short jokes. Hey, a booster seat for your sales. Basically saying, oh, you're making pedo jokes to boost your sales. That's kind of like a low life thing to do. And it's also a short joke, you know, booster seats, car seats. Basically saying Kendrick Lamar is so small, he should be sitting in the booster seat.
And all summer pedal bars going #1, and yet y'all trying to tell me who's grooming who.
You can see here Drake is referencing Not Like Us again, saying y'all was riding all summer to pedo bars to a song calling the guy a pedo. Yet I'm supposed to be the groomer. Like he's trying to turn it on the audience here.
A Billboard #1, man, whoop-de-doo. They rigging the game because you fighting the biggest artist.
So Drake is still holding true to this point that the industry is being rigged against us. So he's saying, yo, F a Billboard chart, because obviously you need the industry's help to chart that high on Billboard. I think in his heart, Drake kind of knows it's going to be tough because he sees himself as fighting the industry and they're fighting back against him. So he's saying, you know what, F the Billboard charts. They're rigging the game. Then he references one of Kendrick's records, Rigor Mortis.
They trying to have me stuck in this position like rigor mortis.
Now, this is specifically a very interesting diss because I've never heard a rapper dissed in this way.
They only know your name in the bigger markets, never in the little markets.
But not the little markets, not the B markets or the C
B markets, C markets, all of those is D markets.
markets. All of those are D markets. Those are my markets. D for Drake, right? So it's interesting because Drake is saying like, yeah, you're known in the United States, in the UK, and Europe, those big markets. But what about Cambodia? What about Belarus? The Philippines? Drake is kind of bragging on having smaller markets. Usually you'll see that diss flip the other way. Like, yeah, you're only known in small markets. I'm known in big markets. But, you know, Drake flips it the other way.
Plot twist, the owl never sees the cage. The owl only wakes up to seize the day.
Now, this bar is directly referencing the Not Like Us music video where Kendrick Lamar has the owl in a cage, owl being OVO's record label logo. And then we have some more direct rebuttals of Not Like Us.
Talking about hiding the Bible, maybe y'all should read a page.
On that song, Kendrick Lamar says,
Beat your ass and hide the Bible if God watching.
Drake literally directly rebuts the line.
Talking about hiding the Bible, maybe y'all should read a page.
Y'all talking about hiding the Bible? Well, you should read a page of it. And Drake goes on to accuse Kendrick of blasphemy.
The blasphemy you talk, let me know that your amazing grace gon' be delayed.
For having iced out crosses,
Iced out crosses on their necks, thinking Jesus saves.
crown of thorns that he wore for performances, portraying Jesus. He's saying like, yo, you're pretty blasphemous. You're talking about the Bible and all this. Well, you should read it because if you did, you wouldn't be doing these certain things.
God wanna wipe that little smug look right off of your face.
I do think this bar here is very funny because Drake delivers the bar like he's just still so pissed about it. Like, man, I want to wipe that smug little smile off of your face. I can only assume the smile that Drake is talking about is when Kendrick Lamar was at the Super Bowl halftime show performing Not Like Us. And then he looks right at the camera, says, say Drake, I heard you like 'em young. The past several bars have been from the same song. So yeah, a lot of disses front loaded on this song.
You boys too like double dates, running out the 6 like you want to race.
You running out the 6 like you run a race. So again, this is one of them references to Kendrick performing Not Like Us in Toronto, getting a police escort right to the airport, right out of Toronto, immediately after the show.
And Muggsy Bogues done for once, even I'm a bit amazed. Yeah, someone get a kid a raise.
It's
So this is
amazing.
probably
bro.
the most potent diss to Kendrick on this Iceman album. Muggsy Bogues dunked for once, I'm a bit amazed. Yeah, someone give the kid a raise. He knows that Kendrick had a hit record. He knows he lost that battle. He knows what Not Like Us did. So he acknowledges it. Yeah, Kendrick, you got to dunk. But at the same time, he's kind of downplaying it. Like, yeah, Kendrick, you got to dunked, but even Muggsy Bogues dunked. Muggsy Bogues being probably the shortest NBA player of all time. Muggsy Bogues had to be like, what, 5'3", 5'4". So on one hand, it's a short joke, another short joke, one of many short jokes at Kendrick. But on the other hand, Drake mentions Muggsy Bogues dunking because he's comparing it to Kendrick beating him in a battle. Like, yeah, what you did was an anomaly. It's a statistical anomaly. If we ran that battle back 100 times, Drake is looking at it like, yo, I would win 99 times. What you did was an anomaly, like Muggsy Bogues dunking. But congrats anyway, like you still dunked, right? And then to end the song, Drake goes,
What is it, the braids? Even when I cut them, I can never fade. I mean, it's Drizzy Drake.
he directly rebuttals Euphoria.
You got shit twisted. What is it, the braids?
What is it, the braids? And it's a little wordplay. Even if I cut the braids, I could never fade. You know, fade, haircut, but also I'm still gonna be here much longer than you will. I'm never fading out. I'm never fading away.
And y'all are talking about me having better perspective on life doing DMT.
It's on this song,
just
Firm
break down the
Friends,
whole
where
bars.
Drake rebuttals a line from Meet the Grams.
But I suggest some ayahuasca, strip the ego from the bottom.
Kendrick tells him, yo, you should do ayahuasca. Basically, you
address
should
his
do
daughter
some
too?
drug that allows you to self-observe, self-actualize yourself. Drake is actually taking the responsible father route. Basically, I'm out being a great father. Meanwhile, you guys are talking about, oh, I should be doing drugs and DMT. Yo, I don't have time for that. It's an interesting angle to take because Drake has so often been dissed for being, I guess, a bad or an absent father.
You are hiding a child. Let that boy come home.
I got a son to raise, but I can see you don't know nothing about that.
But here he takes the opposite route. Like, yo, I'm hanging out with my son. We chilling. We doing cool stuff. But y'all talking about I need to be doing drugs.
I'm going back to Cali. I'm sleeping with death on my mind. Cause of shots that I caught in my time.
Here, Drake quotes Biggie, I'm going back to Cali.
I'm going back to Cali.
And LL Cool J. Biggie and LL Cool J both had those records, I'm going back to Cali. I thought it would be cool to Drake if he remixed I'm going back to Cali. That would have been dope because that's what Biggie did after his beef with Tupac. He dropped I'm going back to Cali and everybody in Cali loved it. That was like his West Coast record and we loved it, right? But he didn't do that. But he quotes it. He says, I'm back in Cali. I'm sleeping with death on my mind because the shots that I called in my time. Here he gets a little dark. He's like, yeah, I'm back in Cali where Kendrick Lamar is from, but he's thinking death because of what he's done to other people. He feels that the other side might try to do it to him because he's in op land, California op. He probably looks at it as op land, right? And then lastly, on the song Make Them Know,
How did they say they got classes if it that you never revisited?
Drake rebuts a line from Euphoria where Kendrick goes,
How far can your apps go? Meet Base 44.
I'll be right back. I gotta pee.
Next rapper to catch shots on Iceman is none other than the last third of the big three, J. Cole.
Me, I stood 10 T's and accepted the mission, cause I much rather death than submission.
Now these bars from the song Make Them Pay are very telling. I stood 10 toes. I accepted the mission, cause I'd much rather death than submission. But obviously at this point, everyone knows about J. Cole's infamous apology to Kendrick Lamar on stage at his concert.
How many people think Kendrick Lamar is one of the greatest to ever touch microphone? That was the lamest, goofiest shit, and it made me feel like 10 years ago.
I thought J. Cole was in the album. Iceman. Iceman.
Backs out of the battle, he takes back his diss record. He deletes his diss record from the Might Delete Later album. Drake calls that submission. Drake says, hell, I would rather get my head taken off by Kendrick Lamar than submit in a battle to him.
How can you press the ignition and let some memories of the past affect your decision?
So Drake is calling it out. J. Cole, you stepped on the ignition. You pressed the ignition with the 7-minute drill record, dissing Kendrick Lamar, but then you backed out. Because you have memories of the past with Kendrick Lamar and all this good stuff, you let those memories affect your decision and pump the brakes on what you already had, what we already had planned.
I love you cause of the history, but if we being real, I could never forgive you.
I could never forgive you. So this is a little bit scathing because J. Cole is doing all these interviews after the Fall Off dropped, talking about how he still loves Drake. I mean, he wants to be friends.
He was like, yo, I didn't want to come down there and put you in a situation on that stage and say some shit that you would have to stand behind. And I'm like, thank you. Thank God that you didn't, because it left the space for me to receive what I was supposed to do.
J. Cole is still keeping a very friendly frame with Drake. He's not saying really anything to diss him in these interviews, at least, in case they be friends again. He's leaving that door open.
J. Cole is a better rapper than Drake to me, though.
Drake flat out says, I would never forgive you.
And you never called me back, but destiny's written.
So this kind of corroborates what Maul was saying.
Tell the world why you had that conversation with Kendrick and then you never spoke to Drake again. Till this day has never spoke to Drake again.
Based on what Maul from the Rory and Maul podcast said, and based on what Drake is saying, there was some phone call that Drake sent to J. Cole that never got responded to. And that seems to be a big issue of why Drake is pissed at him.
Fuck a big three anyway, there was too many chefs in the kitchen, it was a mess to begin with.
So we've come full 360. This whole catalyst of this Kendrick and Drake beef was Kendrick going on the Future song like that.
The big three, nigga, it's just big me.
We've come full circle, and now Drake has realized.
That's where he started.
Kendrick was right. F the big three. It was a mess, anyways, man. Drake also jabs at J. Cole by saying,
I could have fell back like the married rapper, but we engaged. I told y'all I'm settled in my evil ways.
It's basically saying we engaged in the battle with Kendrick, whereas J. Cole, who was the married rapper here, fell back. We know this is about J. Cole because in the very next bar, Drake says,
I told y'all I'm settled in my evil ways.
I'm settled in my evil ways. Drake and J. Cole have a song together called Evil Ways.
I'm the golden goose shaking things up at Lucian's house.
So this is a more subtle shot at J. Cole. Drake says, I'm the golden goose. I'm shaking things up at Lucian's house. On J. Cole's recent mixtape, Birthday Blizzard, he had a line that seemed directed at Drake where he says,
For crumbs, dumb niggas so they sold a Lucian.
So the song is called Golden Goose, and the line itself is about Lucian Grange. Then we have Drake here reaffirming, yeah, I'm the Golden Goose, and mentioning Lucian Grange in that same bar. Now, A$AP Rocky has been catching nasty strays from Drake. Like,
we sharing women that are already at the height of my success.
So Drake just continually holds the fact that he and Rihanna had a thing over A$AP Rocky's head. Obviously, A$AP Rocky and Rihanna, they are an item currently, but Drake just kind of seems to keep holding that over his head because A$AP Rocky often will bring up the fact that he had a thing with Drake's baby mom.
Smash before you birth, son. Flacco hit it first, son.
So it's like these two guys have history with each other's baby moms in the past, and they just keep taunting each other over it.
Yo, baby mama ain't even post a single damn.
So Burning Bridges is essentially just an entire A$AP Rocky diss. The whole song seems to be about, yo, A$AP Rocky, I don't like you, but I'm never burning bridges with your baby mom, Rihanna.
But I still got love for your missus and a sister. We can't burn them bridges.
Like he's like leaving the door open for Rihanna. It's pretty damn cryptic, like I still love your baby moms and all this. And Drake opens the verse by telling A$AP Rocky, hey, look in the mirror and see what talking gets you. So basically Drake is saying like, yo, you need to stop talking about me. You got cut up, stabbed last time you was talking about somebody. So maybe you should just chill.
He got a
So my brother, you was trying to fix it. Now you drop your album and you back dissing.
You know, A$AP Rocky dropped an album earlier this year. There were a couple bars on A$AP Rocky's Don't Be Dumb album that could be construed as disses to Drake.
Stole my flow, so I stole your bitch.
Drake is basically like, yeah, I
Damn.
caught that. And you want to put a little couple diss bars in here? Well, I got a song for you and your chick right here. I'm effing up power couples. So that's from the song Too Hard from the Radio. This could apply to either A$AP Rocky or Pusha T. It's that last bar that has me thinking that it's more so about Pusha T.
Northern Tool and Equipment. Get serious.
Why are you paying $80 for garbage internet? This is Ryoko Pro. It's a pocket-sized Wi-Fi hotspot.
And like, yo, your name was redacted, which Pusha T was briefly mentioned in that whole fiasco, right?
Nigga, KYSASAP, that's some shit that you could do for me.
I mean, this one is just pretty self-explanatory.
Damn.
KYS, ASAP. Yourself, ASAP. Do I even need to break this down? So this is from the song Firm Friends.
I did not break up a happy home, baby, you pulled up on me.
He says, I did not break up a happy home. Girl, you came to me.
Tell him why you really hate me and what year did she date me.
So again, to me, this just appears to be Drake mocking A$AP Rocky, saying the same thing virtually that they've been saying back and forth to each other. Hey, I slept with your baby mom before you did. Oh, well, I slept with your baby mom before you did. So LeBron James actually catches a good amount of strays on Iceman simply for appearing at Kendrick Lamar's pop-out show where Kendrick Lamar performed Not Like Us, 5-6 times. Drake did not take kindly to that.
Was a beater. Don't be suddenly eager to hit me up and have no discussions either.
Don't make us hit another buzzer beater, and don't be suddenly eager to hit me up and have no discussions either. So this could apply to either LeBron James or DeMar DeRozan, who both caught strays for the same reason, appearing at Kendrick Lamar's pop-out show.
I saw bro end up pop out with Denverman, Ryan Gangsta's headlines.
So this bar from What Did I Miss? It just presses on Drake's actual issue of these guys showing up at the pop-out show, whether it's LeBron James or DeMar DeRozan. He didn't take kindly to that. He feels they shouldn't have shown up at all. Obviously, Drake feels like he and LeBron and he and DeMar DeRozan's relationships were stronger friendships to where they wouldn't even consider doing something like that.
I shouldn't even be shocked to see you in that arena. You always made your career off of switching teams up.
I think this is a great diss also. I shouldn't be shocked to see you in that pop-out arena because you made your career off switching teams up. So we know that LeBron James, he infamously left the Cleveland Cavaliers to join the Miami Heat to win the championship. Then he left the Heat to go back to the Cavaliers. Then he left the Cavs again to go to the Lakers. So Drake is like, hey, I'm not surprised you switched up on me. You've been switching up your entire NBA career.
Please stop asking about what's going on with 23andMe. I'm a real and he's not.
I do like this 23andMe bar.
It's in my DNA.
23andMe, they're like a DNA company. Drake ties the bar together by saying like, yo, LeBron, he's not real. I'm real, it's in my DNA. What happened between 23andMe? LeBron James wears the number 23. And DeMar DeRozan actually gets a huge brunt of disses on the song National Treasures.
So
DeMar DeRozan currently plays in Sacramento for
Go
the
watch
Kings.
the video.
So
I
that's the
reacted to that
Sac and
video
the King
too.
reference there. Double entendre.
We must have been dealing in spur of the moment. Why did we think you could get us a ring?
We must have been dealing in spur of the moment. Because why did we think you could get us a ring? So this is some NBA talk. DeMar DeRozan used to play for the Toronto Raptors.
Yeah.
They were good, but not great. They never won a championship with DeMar DeRozan on the team. It was only after the Toronto Raptors shipped DeMar DeRozan away and picked up Kawhi Leonard that they won a championship.
The Toronto Raptors are a college sports team, I promise you. I love this team, and we're going to the NBA Finals. Let's go!
G-Pop sent us a real one from Dago, and next thing we knew we was doing parades.
G-Pop sent us a real one from Dago. G-Pop is the coach of the Spurs, who Drake mentions earlier in the verse. The real one from Dago is Kawhi Leonard, who I mentioned earlier. And the next thing we know, we was doing parades. So yeah, Drake is talking about DeRozan, you wasn't that good once we traded you For Kawhi Leonard, we immediately won a championship. You're a bum. That's basically what he's saying here.
Go to the hotel right after your game. Don't stick around in the 6.
Now, these are a little bit cryptic bars. He's saying go to the hotel right after your game. Don't stick around the 6. So there was that time where DeMar DeRozan returned to Toronto and Drake was there.
Yes, if you ever put a DeRozan banner up, I'll go up there and pull it down myself. That's the answer to your question.
It seems that Drake is hinting at, yo, you should not come outside in Toronto. I've got something planned for you. Right after your game, go straight to the hotel. And after you leave your hotel, go straight to the airport like Kendrick did. Do not stick around. Even Jay-Z called some strays on this Iceman album.
My niggas run the phone soon as you check into prison.
So this is from the song Make Them Pay.
Your niggas run and talk the whole for a second opinion.
Drake is saying like, yo, my guys are thoroughbreds. When my guys go to prison, they run the phones, they run the TVs. Basically, they're those guys in prison. They're leaders in prison. Meanwhile, your guys are asking Jay-Z for second opinions. So he's looking at Jay-Z like your opinion isn't worth anything. Like, why would you ask Jay-Z for his opinion on stuff? My guys are leaders. My guys do this. Your guys is getting advice from Jay-Z. He's looking at Jay-Z like he's a peon.
I take 500K, not a dinner. I never could learn from none of y'all.
And that's echoed by this bar from Whisper My Name where Drake says, yo, I'll take 500K over to dinner with Jay-Z. Because, you know, there's a whole meme that people used to say, yo, would you take $500,000 or would you take dinner with Jay-Z? And then some people for real seriously would answer, well, I'll take dinner with Jay-Z over $500,000. If I have dinner with Jay-Z, I can ask him about business. I can pick his brain about business. People used to say this. So Drake is playing off of that meme like, yo, I'm taking 500,000 over dinner with Jay-Z because Jay-Z can't teach me nothing. And there's also the island hopping bar from Too Hard for the Radio.
Damn, y'all was really island hopping back then. Huh, now your names got redacted.
That we mentioned earlier that I think could be about Pusha T or Jay-Z. Their names were kind of surrounding the Epstein files. So yeah, Pusha T, the Clips, they infamously had to buy their way.
Spring, the unofficial new year for tool people. Celebrate spring savings at Harbor Freight.
We really needed that power slide.
Check this out.
Out of their record deal.
Difference between niggas getting you out of your deal and letting you out of your deal.
No, he had to pay. He had to pay.
Meanwhile, Drake is getting out of his record deal by, I guess, dropping albums, suing the label. Drake saying like, yo, there's a difference. I'm getting out of my deal. They are letting you out of your deal. There's a difference.
Against your will, how many new names do you got on your will?
Against your will, how many new names you got on your will? So I think this could apply to Kendrick also, as it does either Pusha T or Kendrick. Drake is talking about extortion to a degree. You know, Kendrick left a TDE deal and went to PG Lane, but then the Clips also spoke about getting out of their deal. So that's why I think it could apply to either Kendrick or the Clips. So what Drake is hinting at is, like, what did you have to do to get out of that deal? For real, for real. Did you have to add one of them guys, one of them executives to your will? Do they get points on your next couple albums? Like what was the deal y'all struck up? Because I'm sure it was terrible.
I got all the chains that they ever repped in Virginia.
So this one is a shot at Pharrell. In a Family Matters video, Drake has a bunch of Pharrell chains that he bought in an auction. Drake has been trying to mock Pharrell with these chains. I mean, Pharrell put the chains up for auction. He didn't want them anymore. Drake thinks it's a thing to mock Pharrell. Like, yeah, I bought your chains. I got your prized possessions.
I got niggas prized possessions. I get possessive on niggas.
This is from the song Firm Friends.
I know niggas going crazy as I cop all the items you niggas put up for sale.
And here, Drake is continuing to talk about those items that he bought at an auction. You know, I think if I put items up for auction, I would be happy that we had a buyer. But I guess Drake is thinking of it like, I'm the last person they would want to have their chains that they put on for auction. Personally, I think they're happy that someone bought it. I think Kanye West caught a couple of strays on Iceman also.
If I'm lying, I'm flying economy. I bet I know who I see.
He said, if I'm lying, I'm flying. So that's a play on the phrase, oh, if I'm lying, I'm dying. But then some people say, oh, if I'm lying, I'm flying. Drake takes it another step and says, yo, if I'm lying, I'm flying economy. Basically saying, yo, I never fly economy. I'm a business class dude. I'm a private jet, first class dude. He's taking jabs at Kanye West, who was allegedly seen flying economy with his girlfriend, Bianca. And on the song Ran to Atlanta,
all you boys losing it and you need to take meds, hey.
Drake says, yo, you boys need to take your meds. Who is the rapper that's famously on medications? I'm sure a lot of people are on medications. There's a lot of mental health issues going around. But Kanye West is kind of the one who's taking that mantle. Like, yo, I'm bipolar, this and that. Drake is like, bro, he needs to take his meds. Tell him to stop talking about me. The Weeknd has actually been in Drake's crosshairs for a while.
You Boy, better be ready and able, I'm coming.
On the song Plot Twist, Drake seems to be describing this very cryptic, very dark event that happened where he and his team approached somebody and things happened, right? But in this song specifically, Drake says,
stop the video. Yo, Drake was taking shots at everybody, you know what I'm saying? Everybody catching strays. Make sure you subscribe, make sure you follow, leave me a comment, hit the notification button, subscribe to the channel, subscribe.